Emotions have you lying, then they wanna run your name. Then they tryna strike your page when they put you in a play. Emotions make you cry sometimes. Emotions have you crying, emotions have you lying, then they wanna run your name. Then they tryna strike your page when they put you in a play. Mars, help me please. Can you block this troll for me? That hoe keep distracting me. Hurry up before I leave off this motherfucking stream. Big dog, yeah, he gotta eat. Your girl keep cash apping me. And can y'all run them likes up, please? You clowns keep on doubting me, but Punch Gang say they proud of me. Big bifocals I can see. Mr. Punch up on a tree. You clowns, y'all can cancel me. Niggas scared to punch with me. Y'all niggas can't be for free, so that shit did hit the cap.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers mothering, handling their count out here on this blacktop. Hey, them tunes I just played, that's my boy TTM. Cam Talk Too Much. Cam Cleo. Big Dog Talk Too Much. Out the 409, Brandon Street, South Park. You know what I'm saying? Foes up, what's up to my boy? That boy got a chokehold. I'm gonna tell y'all like he told somebody recently. Hey, that internet money is better than that party money. That internet money is better than that party money. I'm talking about that YouTube money. It's more lucrative. It's that back end. It's that guaranteed. It's that monthly dividends and money that you can receive and believe and achieve. And we ain't gonna grieve. And we gonna wear our feelings on the sleeve. And we gonna go hard like Peyton Manning. You know, but hey, for real, this is straight freestyle. No rehearsal. Straight off the mind. Words ain't hard to find. What's up to my boy Cam Talk Too Much? Follow his page. 7K Play Strong. That boy turned me up on his YouTube. Also, June 3rd, we'll be traveling to the DFW, Dallas Fort Worth, and getting our punch on. You know, we going out there to come take the dub. I'm talking about get that win, be victorious. We gonna look good. We gonna look like some killers. We gonna have our candle out here on the blacktop. Yeah. But aside from that, I'm tuned in to, hey, come with another Tristan's take, Tristan testimonial. Tristan is trendy. Tristan is touchy-feely. Another story with some murder Mami'S from the past tense. I got so many stories from here and there, from the archives, from my memory Rolodex. This one will be about Tristan crazy story from 2019 with Houston Murda Mami'S trip to Atlanta. My Atlanta trip in 2019 with Houston Murda Mami'S. Don't let the title deceive you though. There's way more to it. Back in 2019, y'all, that's when I jumped out the porch and started to travel. As in, I've been traveling, but as in hopping on that big bird and flying state to state, across the country, overseas with the Vietnamese. 2019 is when I first truly traveled, as in by plane, which was a long time coming. Back then, I was in my late 20s. I've been wanting to travel for a long time, but nobody just never put it on my mind until my partner from the Sandbox, Sean Morris, he put on my mind. He said, hey man, for April, let's go to Atlanta for my birthday. I said, okay, bet. I'm with it. I was excited. It's gonna be me, him, plus another player partner named Julius. I was super excited. But before that, before going to Atlanta in April, like it all started while I was in Walmart, going to the tire section. This back in 2019. Had came across this one chick that stood out to me. She was a cold murder mommy. She had a nice little shape on her, nice little pretty yellow, had a long coat on. However, she had a nice shape on her, a nice body. She really just caught my attention. Back then, while I was in a relationship, but I never broke the code. Well, I may mingle and talk, but nothing deep, nothing profound. But on this particular day, well, I had to see what was to this particular young lady. So while back there in the tire center, while I broke ground with her, come to find out she was from out of town. She from Houston. She was there getting an oil change. Her name was Taylor Durix. You know, we had, you know, small conversation, around the same age bracket or whatnot. That was that. Me and her, we exchanged social medias. Snapchat and Instagram. Taylor D-Rocks, I never forget her. Fast forward. Boom. And me and my homies, we go to Atlanta. And, you know, taking trips, especially this generation, people be big on social media. So I'm snapping my journey. I'm Snapchatting or whatnot. And all of a sudden, I get a Snapchat message from this girl, Taylor D-Rocks from Houston, who I met the cold Yellowbone, who months prior, I randomly came across and had a conversation with in Walmart on Dallin Road. She hit me up on Snapchat. She said, hey, I'm in Atlanta too, let's link up. I'm like, what? This is tripped out. It hit me so hard because this was my first time traveling, right, by plane. And months or so prior, I just randomly came across this girl and we exchanged Snapchats. And for us to be in Atlanta, and meantime, in between time, we had no conversation, of course, because I was in a relationship. She was just one of many followers on my social media. But I guess that particular day, she felt compelled to be browsing her Snapchat. She see that I'm in Atlanta. We both in Atlanta, coincidental. So we have a little dialogue. She tell me in so many words, she's there for her homegirl birthday and they looking to turn up. So I said, oh yeah, once we get settled, once we make it to our Airbnb, we'll definitely shoot you the Addy. So we fired up, you know, because I tell my homies. I said, hey, tell me why this random girl from Houston, who I met back in Bowman at Walmart, she happened to be out here at the same time with her homegirls. Uncoordinated, unplanned, totally spontaneous. So we make it to our Airbnb. We're in the Clear Lake area of Atlanta. It's Easterline, borderline the Zone 6 area. Super nice Airbnb. Has a loft and everything. Big, nice loft. And we settled up, but we make it in real late. Well, I realize when it comes to trips, go ahead and break bread and get the top tier trips. Top tier times to leave. So you can have more leeway. Most of the time, cheaper the flight, the later the flight, and the earlier that you have to come back. Well, I really learned a lot from that first trip. As in, I never take a trip for 2 days again, 4 days or more, leaving there early and coming back later in the day. So on that last day, you can really do it up and have a good time and stuff. So our plans originally out there was to go to the Trap Museum. That's a popular facet in Atlanta. That's a little setup where T.I. the rapper got a setup for all the trapper rappers and stuff like that. I mean, like this, true to his name, it's a Trap Museum. Pretty much displaying like Atlanta culture or music scene. We have plans to go to the Trap Museum, go to Stone Mountain and do some hiking and some biking. And overall, just have a good time in Atlanta, you know. Hot Atlanta, you know, politic, party, have a great time. So we thought. Like I say, fast forward, broke ground randomly, touched base with a girl who I met prior back in Bowman at Walmart, who happened to be out there on the same time, so we had plans to get up with them. Meantime, in between time, we at the Airbnb, we get in late as hell, so we sleep some of that night/morning, and we get up and pop out. And we didn't much get to follow our plans, because boys' money wasn't right. As in, boys was lacking, not all the way, not the whole squad, but finances wasn't right. So we ain't get to go to the Trap Museum, we ain't get to go to Stone Mountain, but we still got the politic. And this way back in 2019, so we exploring Atlanta. We catching Uber, we go to Edgewood, we come across some scooters, like them bird scooters where you can pay a debit card. We was shocked, you know, cause back coming where we come from back in Texas, 409 Houston area, we ain't got no bird scooters by then. And also, it's real hilly out there in Atlanta. We having a good time out there in Atlanta, right on the bird scooters. Meantime, we brainstorming. So we decided to go to the Lenox Mall. Also, something I forgot to throw out there. I'm out there for 2 days only. 2 days is not enough, especially when you had a late flight that got you dang near in the first of the 2 days that you out there. And my homies, they had 3 days overall. They had 1 day more to do something, really make something shake. So back to it. We ride around on the bird scooters. We don't get to go to the trap museum. We don't get to go to Stone Mountain because the money circumstances. Money's looking funny. Not amongst all of us, but it take one bad apple to spoil a whole bunch. But I ain't complaining. I was glad, I was happy. First time traveling ever in my life. We was in Atlanta, Georgia. It's down south, but the time zone change. It's the real city. Land of the Hawks, Atlanta Hawks. Home of the Atlanta Braves. Home of the Migo. And come to find out, they not from the inner city. They from the suburbs of Atlanta. You know. And we just out there having a good time and just politicking. Sorry about that like interruption. Had somebody out there, you know, messing up my video, but it's okay. We doing our thing. Back to it. Sorry for the interruption. This is a live, one take. Ain't no reruns. We gonna take it as we go. We gonna roll like in a boxing ring. Roll the punches. Had a little distraction on the outside, but yeah, we in a real city, major city, Black Hollywood. And back to it before I got distracted, sidetracked. Yeah, we end up going to Edgewood, hopping on them bird scooters, having a good time. We go to Lenox Mall, pretty great mall like the Galleria back in Houston. And we end up coming across some older women, and they extend an invite. They was like, hey, y'all need to come out and go to a cool little job club called B&E. Hey, we was with it, we was excited. So we put that on the radar. But that was going to be on the second day. The first day we rode around Atlanta, catching Ubers, catching lifts. We go to Fox Barrows. That's a popular barbecue spot out there. Fox Barrows. Have a good time there. And then we go to the club scene. Super turned up, a whole bunch of Murda Mami'S, right? But I got caught off guard. I done came a long way. Well, I love hats, as you see. And I got hit with the knockout punch. We get there, no hats. Ouchie. And they was charging people $50 to keep the hat. So I had to humble myself. And I went home and took the hat off. I was highly disappointed because my hat matched my outfit. So we had a good time, had a good blast. We really didn't club hop that night. We did club hop because before this one club, went to a little turned up little lounge, had a good time, little hookah. You know, just taking in the good scenes, good vibes, good music selection out there. And just taking in the Atlanta experience. Real pretty out there and real hilly. And we was in the Edgewood area, that's East Atlanta, not too far from Decatur. Also, the locals sound just like that. However, majority of the people we came across wasn't original, like Atlanta natives. They came from elsewhere. We came across people from North Carolina, surrounding areas. All surrounding areas, but of course, once you move somewhere and you live there for a while, you're considered to be there. You're considered to be there as a local. And also, the people who we came across, they was long-time residents of Atlanta, so might as well say that they from Atlanta. All day they may not have been born in the hospital, but they moved there, made a life, and that was that. And overall, had a good time, but I was at a disadvantage. Well, I wish I knew now what I didn't know back then, because I really could have did it up. Even if I would have stayed for 3 days, because my homies who stayed for 3 days, that next day, the third day, which was their last day, they went to a brunch and they got a late flight. So they really got to turn up and have a good time. Unbeknownst to me, I really didn't know. I was freestyling. So that's that. That was the first day. Made it in late / early that morning. Popped out, rode the bird scooters, went to the Lenox Mall, came across some Murda Mami'S. They put us on the club. for the following day. But let me tell you about that crazy night. Okay. That night, before just settling, going to the main club, we ended up going to this random ass club. Don't know what's the deal. But here was the red flags. Once we made it to this particular spot, back then we beard gang. Back then I'm fresh out the porch with the beard. In 2019, that's when I realized I can grow a beard, but I was down there growing like a 5 o'clock shadow. My homies was having full beards. So we get there, we get stopped at the door, you know, they talking about, oh, y'all too old, y'all look too old, because my homies got beards. By then, we done paid our money. So one of the homies, hey, he not going for it. He telling them, hey, we have no issue. We not from here, we from Texas. We just trying to have a good time. We didn't know that this was a teenage, underage party. Pretty much it wasn't a party of age. I mean, it was like a kid party, which I wasn't tripping. I was ready to go. Two of us were ready to go. But the homie who protested about give us the money or let us come on in, he was locked in. He wanted to go in there so bad. Me and my partner Sean, we wasn't feeling it. I'm like, hey, Jew, let's get our money back and go. But hey, catch this, Negroes will be Negroes. They wanted their money. So they compromised everything. They said, you know what, y'all can go in. Y'all good on the payments. So we go in there, you know, like it's lit and stuff, but just from out of sermon, I can tell that these is kids, like teenagers and whatnot. I'm not really feeling it. But one thing I left out. My homies, they got water bottles full of alcohol. So from the outside, like it looked like some water, but it's clear alcohol. So we turned up in there, passing the water bottle. But even still, I wasn't feeling the vibe because we dang near got turned off based off of our appearance. We dang near got turned away. And then like it's a kid party, you know, I mean, wasn't feeling it. But my homies, they get loose, they get full of that liquor. And one of us is a cold dance. I'm talking about know how to pop, lock, and drop it and all that stuff. And he take one female, he'll pick her up and he threw it on the ground and he started rotating on her and gyrating and he was killing it. He was killing it so hard where the DJ put the spotlight on him. Once he put the spotlight on him, he seen that beard. He said, hey, who is these niggas? These old ass niggas with these beards and stuff like that. Hey, put us on blast. Well, I really passed the part because I barely had a beard back then. But my homies have 2 super big beards, you know. DJ thought he seen the sight. He did see the sight, but once he put the light on the homie, from what he seen from his perspective, it's a grown man from his perspective. Like, dang, come on, man. So he questioned us, not us, but questioned him, like on the microphone. My homie ain't paying no mind. He just ignored him. Well, I was like, hey, man, let's go, man. We could have did this back in Texas. If we wanted to go to a kid party, we could have did this back in Texas, man. Hey, my time is limited. Y'all got 3 days. I got 1 night. I mean, I got 2 days. We got to make this worth the while, man. So we leave from out of there. And thankfully, we wind up going to finding 2 more fired locations. Things of age. Murda Mami'S, had a good time, had a blast. So boom, that was the end of day 1. My second day was a Hail Mary. That's why I say never pay for the cheap flights, y'all. Because you're down there, leave late and have to leave early. Break that bread, stop being a cheapskate and go ahead and pay in full. I say that because my second day, right, my flight was for like 4 or 5 o'clock. So my time was super limited. So that second day, well, I reached out to my Houston homegirl. I can't even say homegirl, but the Houston acquaintance. Like I said prior, a month or so prior, I had came across a nice Murda Mami in Walmart, Taylor D-Rocks, a fine little cold Murda Mami, Taylor D-Rocks. And she happened to be out there with her homegirls. So my homeboys, they asked that second day, hey, T, what's up with your homegirl? You know, so boom, as time progressed that morning, had hit them up. They came to the Airbnb. We turned up and had a good little time with them, you know what I'm saying? Nothing out the ordinary. But I sure did let her know. I said, girl, think about it. A month or so prior, total stranger randomly, we broke ground at Walmart. And for us to be out here at the same time. No communication meantime, between time, or nothing like that. By chance, we happen to be out here together and have a good time. So they passed through, had a good time. They said later on that they hit us up, so they say, but they was bluffing like a muffin. They keyed us up. No biggie, because we wasn't out there for them. Just by coincidence, they happened to be out there at the same time we was. So boom, fast forward. Later on that day, hey, we go back outside in the city. We dang near go to the Bluff. Like Snow on the Bluff, we go to a Kroger's in that area. And them people from Atlanta, they talk just like the goddamn TV shows and the movies. They got that southern drawl. I mean, I'm from Texas, from down south, but they really got that twang on their accent. You know what I'm saying? And we politic with the locals out there. Got laced up on some stuff and hey, they got that, they really got that strong southern drawl. They show love, they embrace us. So we end up going to B&E. Like I said, the day prior, some older Murda Mami'S had told us come to Club B&E. We get there, it's fired up, but I get hit with a bum. They dropped the bum on me, baby. No hats. Tell him my feelings was hurt, cause my hats coordinate my outfit. But this time I was being stubborn. I was pissed off. I said, you know what, man? Y'all boys can have it, man. Y'all can have it. So I'm outside, upset. My homie telling me, T, I know you ain't come out here to sit outside. You done spent your money. This is your last night. Come inside and turn up and have a good time. But back then I was self-conscious, man, about me not wearing a hat, you know what I'm saying? So I said, you know what, T, your night is limited, man. Go ahead inside and have a good time. Oh, so I took it on the chin with a grin. Went in there, had a good time in there. With the older Murda Mami'S, they showed love. We toasted up. We took cheers. They let us pass the bottle of beer leg. We having a good time turning up. Wonderful night. But I couldn't really just max out like I wanted to because my second day was my last night. My homies, they really had that leeway. So from there, we went our separate ways. I probably stayed out like the 1 o'clock that morning. They stayed out through the night, going through the night, thugging hard. Like it's Houston, like after I was having a good time, I said to myself, going forward, I would never go out of state on a trip, whether overseas, for 2 days. 4 days at least. Making there early to get settled and leaving late. Lesson learned. Had a good time out there. Had a blast, but 2 days is not enough. I'm definitely looking to go back to Atlanta. But it was just overall, my trip I would say was a 7. And this is in 2019. I was totally green, first time ever traveling. I'm definitely going back to Atlanta and gonna have multiple days, spontaneous, saucy situations, totally unplanned. You know, for me to come across a girl from Houston, we break ground, and she happened to be out there the same time frame we are. But when they was out there, they did it bigger and better. They had a rental, and they was out there for 4 days, so they must have been traveling. Like, dang, she hip, they hip as hell. You know, we all the same age bracket. But my takeaway from the trip, we ended up going to a kid party. One of us, one of the three, not me, not my other homie, but one homie was adamant about staying. But back then, he was younger. We was all younger. He was a horn dog. And I don't know what's to him. That was a wasted opportunity. That time spent in the kid party, we could have been elsewhere, which we did go elsewhere, but it is what it is. Cop a blow. But hey, y'all, that's Tristan's take. Like, hate, and subscribe, and share a video. More videos coming soon. And what's up to that boy CTTM, you know what I'm saying? Can't talk too much. More videos on the way, more saucier, more colder videos on the way. This is Tristan's take, signing out.